Right, so we are back with the baking drama in today's video, and in fact we actually have an update on a situation I spoke about a week ago or so. And it was a situation all surrounding two main people, right? There was a TikToker called Sourdough By Syd with 66,000 followers, and it was a person on Instagram who goes by Micro Bakery Girl or Jess Stewart, as it says in a bio. And usually at this point when I'm doing a follow-up video, I will give a recap on the situation. There are so many details to the situation. It was a pretty long video. If you want to get like the full story and you haven't already seen it, I did make a previous video on it, maybe like 5 or 6 videos ago, but I will give you a very brief recap. But again, it won't be like the full picture because it was a lot. So Micro Bakery Girl was a new account on Instagram that only started posting in November of last year, so it's only been around a couple of months. And in these videos she would show her like day-to-day life running her micro bakery. This is where she would like make bread and cookies and whatnot. She would show the stand outside her house where she would sell these products, and it had a very cozy feeling to the videos. When you watch these videos you're like, wow, that seems like the perfect life, right? You can just work at home, make your cookies, make your bread, sell it, make a full-time income as she says in the videos, and she lives in this beautiful house. Like, it seems like the perfect life. Now, after posting these videos for about a month or so, Jess then announced that she was actually releasing her own course that you can pay for and you can find out how to start your own micro bakery. Now, one creator in particular who wasn't a big fan of this idea was actually Sourdough By Syd, who we mentioned earlier. And she ended up making a video questioning the legitimacy of Micro Bakery Girl's business. A few of the points that she mentioned was that it wasn't an official business, she couldn't find it anywhere. There was no social media page for the business, which is pretty rare for businesses nowadays. Also, Jess made a video saying that she was selling her food through the Cottage food laws, which is why she could do this legally, but you had to be licensed to do that, you had to register to do that. And then Syd actually searched up and found out that she wasn't registered. Syd also questioned why she was making a course like this when she'd only be doing it a few months, but I mean, obviously in the video said she was making a full-time income, so clearly she knew what she was doing. But then Syd also found some previous posts from Jess herself and her husband talking about how you can buy a course for example, $497 as they say, and you can actually resell the course, make some like Instagram reels over a short period of time, kind of record them in bulk, and then you could just sell the course that you had already paid for, make your money back on the first sale, and then however much else you end up selling. I mean, just to show these quickly, right, this is the one that Jess actually posted. We can't see like the beginning of it because there's this like comment in the way, but it's talking about buying this like IG course for $497. When you buy the course yourself, you can use the lessons inside of it to create a simple Instagram account of your own, publish cute, easy reels each day, and as soon as you get your first sale, you get a direct deposit of $497 into your bank account. Now, obviously saying this, people are then questioning, okay, so is that what you're doing with the micro bakery account? You're just publishing the cute easy reels each day, and then you're wanting to sell maybe a course that you've already paid for. And Landon, her husband, actually made a post saying, for example, I recently bought a course for $497. Inside it teaches digital marketing from A to Z, and it came with master resale rights. So I can now resell the course myself for $497 or more, and I get to keep 100% of the money I make. I don't have to record a single training video, host training classes, run the community, or anything like that. All I have to do is publish 7-second reels on Instagram advertising the course, and anyone who buys through me and pays me directly, I keep 100% of the profit. Also, another point that was brought up that Syd mentioned was that the videos that were posted on the micro bakery account looked like they were all kind of made within maybe like a weekend. Like all the clips were very similar, just like a change of clothes, but it looked like they were filmed maybe on the same day because like the leaves outside were in the same place and whatnot. So it looked like maybe the videos were recorded in one big batch, like within a short period of time, and then just uploaded throughout the month. Now, because of that, a lot of people were questioning, is this what's happening here? Is this like a fake Instagram account? This business doesn't even exist, and now they're just planning to sell this course. Now, we will get to Jess's response to all of this in just a second, but interestingly, I did go to Sourdough By Syd's TikTok account, and the videos are gone. They're deleted, and I was wondering, okay, what's happened here? Now, looking at Syd's most recent video where she kind of looks through some like hate comments she's got recently, she actually did mention a few things in the comments and on the caption that's making me assume what's happened here, right? So the caption says, and I didn't send any of them a cease and desist. And then in the comment section, someone said, wait, what happened to the vids on Micro Bakery Girl? Was there an update I missed? To which Syd replied saying, hope to update after I speak with my lawyer on Monday. So if we're putting the pieces together here, and again, this is just an assumption, but it seems like Syd has received a cease and desist from Micro Bakery Girl, potentially. That's what I'm taking from this. That could obviously be completely untrue, but they're the hints that I'm saying. But either way, let's actually get to Jess's response here. So it's kind of like a slideshow of text. It starts off the true story of Micro Bakery Girl, and then we're gonna go through the slides. Hey everyone, there have been a lot of rumors circulating about me over the past few days, so I wanted to take a moment to tell you who I am, the true story behind this page, and my intentions going forward. First of all, my name is Jessica Stewart. I'm married to a wonderful husband, Landon Stewart. My Micro Bakery Girl story started starts in the fall of 2023. I've always loved baking. One of my first Instagram accounts was a Harry Potter baking and food blog called Fable and Feast that I ran in 2022. Then in the fall of 2023, I discovered baking sourdough for the very first time. Like many of you, the second I started, I was hooked. At that point, I didn't even know what micro bakeries were. I was just baking for myself, friends, and family because I enjoyed it. Then last summer, two big things happened. I discovered micro bakeries for the first time, and I immediately knew that I wanted to start one of my own. I showed a few of my friends, and they thought it was perfect for me too. Around the same time, my husband's company, Clients and Community, became no longer profitable and began losing money month over month, and it got to the point where bringing on clients was no longer feasible. I was also doing graphic design for his company, so I was let go in the process, and altogether, we lost half of our income overnight. Okay, so obviously this company was brought up before. The caption said something about like, it was like a ridiculous amount of money. Let me find it. So yeah, at the time of Syd's video, the bio was the client acquisition coaches for coaches, collected $10 million in 24 months, helped clients earn $100 million in 18 months, pick up my new book for just $4.95. Now, the reason why Syd mentioned that in her original video, she says, is because in Jess's videos, she said that she wanted to start this micro bakery to kind of bring some more income as they were struggling financially. And then she looked at that caption and saw, oh, well, apparently they're making $10 million every couple of years. But judging from Jess's response, that isn't the case and hasn't been since last summer, from what I can gather, and the company is no longer profitable. I wanted to help take some of the pressure off my husband's shoulders and also have something creative of my own. So I brought up the idea of starting a micro bakery. The problem was we live in a small apartment and I'm still gonna blank the names of the states. Obviously, I did that in the last video. I blurred like the state names and whatnot, and a lot of people were saying like, states are really big, you don't need blur the states. I'm still going to. We'll get to a little bit in a second as why I'm still going to, even though it's mentioned in this post. But you know, it doesn't add anything to the story, really, so I'm gonna blur it. My husband always worked from home, and we didn't think a micro bakery would be a good fit for our current setup. But his parents live in a different state, and they had the absolute perfect setup for it. A beautiful home with a big yard out front, along with a mother-in-law to help out. So we kind of spoke about this in the last video, right? Originally, it maybe seemed like it was Jess's home, and then she had addressed it in the comments when people were questioning it, and said, actually, I've moved with my in-laws, which is what she's saying right here. Fair enough. Like, yeah, she might have said my home, but if you live with your in-laws, you might call it your home. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But the problem that people kept bringing up was if it's being portrayed as your own home, as in like, you paid for it, you got this home because of this business, that could maybe be like a dishonest way of marketing your course. That seemed to be the issue. So we decided I would live with his parents off and on until we could find a bigger space to open a bakery in the original state where their apartment is. His parents were so kind, they let me turn one of their rooms into a baking space and set up a bread stand out front. But yeah, that's like the backstory of the business, right? This is where we actually get into what has happened with like the videos being made, the accusations and whatnot. So this next slide, I'll paraphrase it, is basically saying like when I was getting started, I couldn't find any courses on how to do this. And then noticing that there was no other courses that existed, she decided to start documenting her journey from start to finish. And because her husband had experiences in working with courses and creating courses online, she thought it'd be the perfect fit for her to make her own. And now this is where we get to the part where people are still questioning. As we'll get to the comments later, but this seems to be like the biggest thing people are bringing up. So she goes on to say, in September, I moved to her in-laws to build out the micro bakery, and by October, she was baking 50 loaves of bread plus 30 bags of cookies and other baked goods each week. When I looked into the state's cottage food laws, I learned the license fee is based on the calendar year. Since I started in October, I would have had to pay the fee again in January. Instead of getting an official license just for a few months, I decided to give my bread away temporarily in exchange for people allowing me to feature them in my content, and some loved the product so much that they wouldn't leave without giving a cash tip. So what is being said here, by the looks of it to me, is that she moved in September, started this micro bakery business, then goes on to say, like, since I started in October, so I guess started maybe, like, taking it seriously in October, she didn't want to pay the license fee up until January. Fair enough. But what it looks like is that maybe she was running this business for less than a month. Like, as a business at least, right? Creating the products and selling them. It seems like this was a very quick thing that, like I said before, seems to have only happened for less than a month. Which, of course, it goes without saying, wouldn't be an issue by any means if it wasn't for the fact that there's now a course being sold on how to start your own business, if this is coming from someone who maybe did it for less than a month. And as we mentioned in the last video, Syd does say that without, like, the cottage food laws, and there was this other bill that Jess said that she was working under, she would only be able to sell up to $1,000 worth of product each month. Obviously, that wouldn't all be profit either, so it wouldn't be a full-time income either way. I just feel like none of this would have been like a situation or a big deal if it wasn't for the fact that a course is being sold, you know? And I think a lot of people seem to feel like they've been maybe misled a little bit. By November, I realized balancing the bakery and creating the course was too much, so I paused the bakery to focus on the course and get a head start on Instagram, with plans to reopen the bakery in January once I had my official cottage food license. Okay, yeah, so timeline-wise, moved with the in-laws in September, then kind of started taking it more seriously in October, but then realized that you would need the license, and that renews in January, so I didn't want to do that for a few months. So in October, she decided to give the bread away for free, did receive some tips from it as well, but by November realized that it was all a bit much, so she decided to stop the bakery and just focus on like Instagram, and she plans to reopen in January. Completely fine again, but you can see why people would be like, okay, so creating a course is a bit weird then, isn't it? Especially considering if we read the post kind of announcing this course, it says, "It's official, I'm launching my brand new online course, Micro Bakery School, on my birthday, January 13th. This is the program that's going to help you turn your love for baking into a profitable micro bakery from the comfort of your home." Now, you can see why people have an issue with that, because Jess hasn't done that. I mean, she said that she hasn't done that. So I think if you're going to sell a course based on something that you haven't done yourself, I feel like people are going to have a problem with that either way. Like, if it was just videos that were like posted to like Instagram or TikTok for free, and it was just kind of giving tips, regardless of the fact that you've only been doing it for a few months, I'd be like, oh, fair enough, right? You're showing your journey, starting it. That could be helpful to a lot of people. But I think when you start asking people for money, then that is where the criticism is going to come in. I started posting weekly content, and I figured I'd maybe get 2,000 or 3,000 followers by the time I reopened the bakery. But then my content started going viral, causing my page to grow faster than I expected. And as my page grew, I made quite a few mistakes along the way and failed to communicate clearly. For example, I said I run my bakery full time, which is true in terms of hours, but not income yet. Okay, so again, that ties into what I just said with the announcement that says you can help turn your love for baking to a profitable micro bakery. You can see why that would be criticised by people, as Jess is literally saying she hasn't created a profitable business. I mean, to be fair, there is a chance it might be profitable, right? But not a full-time income, as you're saying here. But also, it's not just that post, because in Jess's own videos, she would say that she made a full-time income, not that it was like a full-time thing. She would literally say, as we can see right here, "Sure, a hobby that I turned into my full-time income." So specifically using the word income, we're now finding out that that's not true. And again, I know I keep saying it, but none of this really matters without the course, you know, because that does seem pretty misleading to me, saying that you've got this full-time income from this business. You're going to sell a course to show people how to do it themselves, but in actual reality, you haven't done that, even though you said you have. Like, you can see why that's an issue. But look, to be fair, she's making this post and saying it straight up now, okay? Right, so the post has been made, and she has said that she is doing this full-time in terms of hours, but not income. Nevertheless, the micro bakery is indeed real. I've invested hundreds of hours into researching what it takes to build a successful micro bakery. I've baked the loaves, set up the bread stand, carefully crafted the branding and packaging, purchased all the necessary equipment, and served happy customers. I'm genuinely excited to continue growing the little loaf into something truly special in 2025. And look, I hope that last paragraph is true, because obviously one of the main things that people were bringing up was that they think that the bakery is just fake in general, and it's only being made just to sell this course. Jess is saying that that is not true, and she's going to continue doing it into 2025. And now this is where we get to a direct response to the videos, right? So it says, which brings me to the last few days. A group of creators in the micro bakery community discovered my page and began creating and sharing content that has led to a wave of criticism and harassment. I fully understand that their instinct is to protect the community and why they would advise their followers not to purchase my course based on the mistakes I have made. I own and apologize for those errors. However, the situation has escalated far beyond constructive criticism and into something deeply harmful and disproportionate. Videos were created and widely shared about my husband and I, falsely claiming that we plan to scam for my future course customers. These videos disclose personal details about where I live. One shared the name of my in-laws county in the state, along with the city, zip code, and picture of my apartment building. That video alone has more than 100,000 views. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I blurred that stuff in the previous video, and I still want to blur like the states in this video, even though it's mentioned in here, just because like it doesn't add anything to the story, and also this has resulted in something where people are trying to find out personal information. I don't want any part of that, hence why I didn't mention it in the first video. Because Jess then goes on further to say, as a result, I face intense harassment. People have contacted my neighbours, falsely claiming to be members of my father's in-laws church, and even driven by my in-laws home, where I'm currently staying. On social media, my husband and I have been called scammers, grifters, and leeches. One situation was so extreme that my family and I filed a police report, and a restraining order was granted by a judge. I've been so scared, I don't want to leave the house, but I'm incredibly thankful for the local police who have been patrolling the neighbourhood to help keep us safe. Yeah, this is obviously, it goes without saying, way too far. It's never that deep. And obviously the vast majority of people know that, and I don't think anyone who made a video wanted stuff like this to happen, right? Like Syd, for example, who made the videos, I mean, I would be pretty sure to say that she didn't want any of this stuff to happen either, right? This is way too far. You don't need to react like this. You don't even need to go on like to their social medias and leave like horrible comments. There's a big difference, again, between like criticism and just being like nasty. And now going through the next few slides, she goes on to address her followers, says her followers aren't fake. She had some viral videos and gained, I think it was like 130,000 followers at the time. It's more now. And they were gained from the videos going viral. She then goes on to talk about her husband's company and that he didn't steal content from other creators and sell it as their own. The company was a legitimate company that sold its own unique products and services. And she also says that she's thankful for the business expertise that her husband will bring to her course and to her future students. She then goes on to address people that saying that she's going to copy a course from like other creators' ebooks, to which she says isn't true, and that these ebooks typically take 30 to 60 minutes to read, and her course is going to offer over 20 hours of original video content along with unique bonuses like brand kits, ready-made menus, financial trackers, and more, all of which she designed from scratch. And then in this next slide, Jess goes on to address like the master resale rights, right? So this is stuff that we talked about before, where she had made like an Instagram post and her husband had made an Instagram post talking about how you can buy a course for $497, make a few like Instagram reels over time, and then once the page gets big enough, you can then sell that course that you paid for, make your money back, and then some. It has also been alleged that my course will include master resale rights, meaning others could resell it as their own. This is also false. While I have been experimenting with master resale rights programs in the past, this course will not include resale rights or affiliate program, nor is it a course on how to sell courses. My only goal with this course is to help people start micro bakeries. Lastly, I'm proud to say that my course comes with an unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee, so if anyone is unhappy with the course for any reason, I'll provide a full refund, no questions asked. Now, first of all, that last paragraph, very good thing to mention, very good thing to have included with the course. But clearly, Jess is saying throughout a few slides now, this is going to be a unique course, and it's not going to be like another person's course being sold as her own. I mean, we'll wait and see, right? It's obviously going to be released, so who knows? But judging by this statement, I would be inclined to believe her, because, I mean, if it isn't, people are just going to mention it again, right? It's going to become a big situation. So I'd feel like I do believe her in this scenario. But saying that, I don't think you can blame people bringing up the fact that Jess and her husband have made posts before talking about buying a course for X amount and selling it as your own after making like a bunch of reels every day for a short period of time, selling that course as your own and then making the money back. And then people seeing them posts and linking it to this situation that looks pretty similar. But hopefully that's not the case. Clearly she's saying it's not. While I can't change the past, I'm committed to moving forward in the right way. From here, I've taken and passed my Food Protection Manager certification exam. My stand is already back out and my cottage food license should arrive any day now. So I'll soon be resuming operations of the Little Loaf micro bakery in her state before eventually moving it out to West to reunite with my husband. And then Jess ends it by saying that she still plans to release the course and it's going to help so many wonderful people, and yeah, here's to an incredible year for all of you. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the majority of the comments are questioning the course in general and why it's being made. For example, there's a comment here that says, but why would you sell a course on running a successful micro bakery if you're not running a successful micro bakery in terms of full-time income? How can you promise people they will obtain what you have yet to accomplish? To which Jess replies saying, my course does not promise to help people make a full-time income with a micro bakery, though many people do. My course is designed to help people start one, which I have accomplished. Now, people are going to have their opinions on that, right? So she's saying that the course is showing people how to make a micro bakery, which she's accomplished. And I mean, yeah, technically, right? She said that she like started this bakery business for about a month and kind of put it on the back burner. The issue obviously is like with the announcement of the course, it literally says this is the program that's going to help you turn your love for baking into a profitable micro bakery from the comfort of your home, and it's going to be oh so good. That to me doesn't really suggest it's going to be a course on just like the stuff Jess has done so far. That makes it seem as if you're going to learn how to actually make it a business. But maybe she takes back the original way she advertised it, and then this is kind of like the new way she is branding it, which is just going to be a course designed to help you start one. Now, there was another comment mentioning in Jess's previous videos, she would mention that she makes a full-time income from this, not just like it's a full-time thing, to which she responded saying, hi, I attempt to address this in my post. You're correct that in a piece of content I said full-time income, and while that was true in terms of hours, it was not true in terms of income. I take full responsibility for that mistake. I have deleted that video as to not mislead anyone in the future, and I'm committed to sharing my story with complete transparency moving forward. If I have broken your trust and you no longer wish to follow my journey, I completely understand and I wish you nothing but the best. Okay, so clearly Jess is saying here, and she's owning up to the fact that the way it was kind of portrayed before was misleading. I think that's fair to say, right? Saying it's a full-time income when it's not, then selling a course, saying that you're going to make a profitable business. It does seem pretty misleading to me, but she is saying that she takes full responsibility for that, and that's not going to be the case moving forward, and it's going to be 100% transparent. And there's more comments talking about the same type of stuff we've mentioned. This is one where like there was kind of a bit of a conversation going on between Jess and someone commenting, who actually started off by saying, the issue is you're selling a course on how to successfully operate a micro bakery, which you've never done. To which Jess replied saying, I'm selling a course on how to launch and start a micro bakery, which I have successfully done. To which Chelsea says, how if you don't have a license? Jess says, if you read my full post, I address that openly. To which Chelsea replies saying, no, I did. It says you get your license in January. How are you selling courses on how to make a bakery your full-time income when you've never lived that reality? Also in the process of opening a micro bakery and seeing it's feast time, I don't see myself an expert who's ready to teach others. To which Jess says, my course does not teach people how to make a full-time income with a micro bakery. My course is designed to help them start a micro bakery, i.e. how to apply their license, how to set up a bread stand, how to determine your menu, and how to market your micro bakery, all things that I have successfully done. Now again, it might not have been portrayed that way before, but I guess this is the way that Jess is saying it's being branded now. But either way, that is the full situation, right? Jess is openly saying that it was maybe misleading before and there was some stuff that was said that wasn't true, but she's planning on being transparent from here on out, which I think is definitely a good thing. Again, like I mentioned before, I don't even think this would have been an issue, even with like the misleading stuff, if there wasn't a course involved. When you start like not asking people for money, but selling something to people where they're gonna have to pay money for it, and you're doing that in a misleading way, there's always going to be criticism with that. Now, unfortunately, like we saw in the post, there are some people that took that way too far, and that's absolutely disgusting. It should never, ever, ever go that far, especially over something like this, like a course online. It doesn't even need to go as far as like leaving horrible comments, never mind the other stuff that we read. But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about from the last video to this video. Did it change your opinions? Did it strengthen your already like set opinions? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments, and yeah, if you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, goodbye.